Fam, good morning to you and welcome to Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? What's going on? Let me know where you guys are watching from inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys for being here. As you know, we always start out the show with gratitude and for the amazing opportunity that we get to talk Alabama football right here on Bama Football on YouTube. 108,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your continued support on Bama Football on YouTube. Today on the show, during Alabama's bye week, you're going to get 2 bye weeks this year, which is pretty interesting. It makes for a very entertaining and a long season, which I love. Today on the show, top 5 Alabama players on offense right now. Top 5 Alabama players on defense right now. And as you know, things can change. We just played 3 games. What's going on, Bama Mike, Max Tooney, Rocket Town? I see you guys inside the comment box. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you very much for listening to our program. Take an early look at which recruits are coming into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to come to what I feel is the early college football Super Bowl. I mean, don't get it twisted. I mean, Georgia number 2, Bama number. I mean, it's the two. It's the kings of the SEC. All right. Take a look at which recruits will be in town. Jamarcus, what's going on? I appreciate you being here. Todd, what's up, my boy? Bob, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. Trevor, what's up, man? And Case coming to us from sunny Tampa. B Wood, what's up? Hitting it with a UGA sex emoji. We're going to look at Alabama's next 5 games. Some good teams on the schedule upcoming week. I mean, now you turn into SEC play. We welcome John Tavius Williams as a new follower of the program. And we'll look at the college football schedule for this upcoming week. Amanda, what's up? Good morning to you. I appreciate you being here. It's me, Marvin. Good morning. Everybody checking in. Bentley boy, what's up, man? And Alex, Spencer, roll tide. Oh, we got a strong crew this morning to start out. I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. Jay coming to us from Northport. Yo, Jay, I didn't know you were in Northport, man. The weather's absolutely beautiful today here in Tuscaloosa. We got our workout in, feeling good, feeling strong. The weather, you know, it's certainly not 1,000,000 degrees. I mean, it's manageable. It's beautiful. So today on the show, we lead off with talking about Alabama's top 5 offensive players. And when I go through this list, like, I'm going to go through the defense too. I want feedback. Give me your, top 5, top 3. I had an easy time on the offense, but the defense was pretty challenging for me. There's a couple guys that I left off. There's only 5 to put on. Whatever. I mean, I feel like when you look at the Pro Football Focus grades and the on-field play, the defense stands out a little bit more to me. And I get it. They haven't played anybody, but the stats are the stats. And we use our eyes to see what's happening. Chris Johnson, you don't give a piss about nothing but the tie, man. Nice beard, man. Beard life's different life. Someone said we need a FSU sucks emoji. Yo, oh yeah, so the hoodie. Yo, check out this hoodie, all right? Yo, so the hoodie is this supports Jalen Milroe. All right, so you can get this on Athlete's Thread. I'm not sponsored by the university, by Jalen Milroe's camp. Nobody. I am supporting the players, all right? So this is a business that supports the Alabama football players. And yo, this hoodie's tight. I also got Ryan Williams one, but this one goes hard. This is tight. All right, okay. So here are my top 5 players. I mean, with that said, let's segue into my top 5 right here. Okay, and you got the top 5 players on offense for the Alabama Crimson Tide after 3 games. This is my list. Like I said, the offense. This is easy. All right, Jalen Milroe, 746 yards, coming off an SEC Player of the Week, 14 touchdowns. I mean, the dude wins games. That's my quarterback. And look, I get it. All eyes are going to be on him versus Carson Beck in this game against Georgia. You look at what Jalen was able to do last season in the SEC title game, specifically in the fourth quarter. I like how he was able to handle himself, and I like how he was able to put the team on his back. And I still feel that there's a lot of people that, and not only from, Alabama, but from the outside world, I'm starting to actually see more people kind of give him praise and the credit that he certainly deserves. But there's still a strong room that feels that he can't get the job done. And I think that's burning a little fire underneath him. I love how he used the pistols coming with it against Wisconsin. I can't wait to see what he does on another big-time stage against Georgia. And I think this will provide another opportunity for him to play in a big home game atmosphere with a lot on the line. And we'll talk about Georgia and Alabama at the back end of the program just a little bit. And I feel that he's going to come with it. I mean, this is the guy that is absolutely so challenging to stop. In my opinion, he's the most dangerous player in all of college football. I can't even imagine having to prepare for him as a defensive coordinator, knowing what's, the weapons that he has, but also just his ability to run, his ability to hit the long ball. It's just, it's certainly impressive. He's off to such an amazing start. I had to add Ryan Williams. A freshman. He's 285 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. The guy's playing through the roof right now. What I'm curious to see kind of going forward is how teams defend the deep ball against Alabama. And you start to look at, how would I beat Alabama? What is the game plan to stop that offense? Can you stop that offense? I don't know. We're about to talk about Jam Miller next, and we got Justice Haynes right behind him, the 1-2 combo. Ryan Williams, the guy is certainly it in the long ball, and his ability to, fight through man coverage, get to the end zone has been certainly impressive. His ability to make people miss, we've seen that. His ability to have a big play after the catch, we've seen that. I keep replaying this in my mind, and if you go back and you're watching like previous games, his second touchdown catch that he had, what was interesting is he caught it and he had almost like a peripheral vision of where the safety was, because he basically juked to the right. Did you notice that? Like, you just have that. That's just an innate ability to be able to make a play like that. 285 yards in 3 games. Dude's going crazy. Jam Miller, how could we not list him as well? He's playing like one of the top running backs in college football. Imagine if he had 40 carries right now. Guy doesn't even have 30 carries yet. 265, 3 touchdowns. I knew he was powerful, but he is. I wouldn't say he's exceeding my expectations. Maybe he is. I don't know. I knew he was. We talked about all of these guys, right? But I don't know. Jam might be playing even better than I thought he'd be playing, to be honest. I think that's it. Justice Haynes. So Chris is like, do you think some of the play calling has been head scratching? I would say yes at this point in time. Then again, I'm like, are they kind of keeping their cards close to their vest because you look at the games that are upcoming? I don't know, but I think it's criminal that Justice Haynes only had 2 carries against Wisconsin. I think he's a player that needs the football at least 10 times or more during a game. But they still got the job done. They're still scoring, 49 points a game. I feel good about – I have a few questions about the defense, right? Can they stop the deep ball? There's been some times where they've allowed teams to run at them. But I have more questions on the offensive side. But then you have all these playmakers. I have more questions about the offense right now. Marvin Koch, what's up? We got a new follower. It's down at the bottom, I guess, left of your screen. I appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. A new follower. Justice Haynes, I still listed him as one of the top 5 on offense. Even though he wasn't utilized last game, light work against Wisconsin, a team that Alabama would have beat. 10 times out of 10 times. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered if Tyler Van Dyke would have played that game. I think it probably would have still been the same outcome. Maybe Wisconsin would have got 13 points, another field goal or something like that. But Alabama beats Wisconsin all day long in Luke Fickell. And I love how Luke Fickell took ownership and accountability of that ass kicking that they got. That's what he called it. Justice Haynes is that guy, 165 yards. Think about it. He only touched the ball twice, but he has 2 touchdowns and a long rush of 85 yards. Jeremy Bernard listed him there as well. Good morning to you, Chris. I see you inside the comment box. What's going on, Josh? And Eric, I see you guys as well. And Thomas, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Jeremy Bernard is wide receiver number 2 or number 1. I mean, each of those guys have been targeted the same time. Jeremy Bernard is a quality wide receiver. We've seen a lot from him so far. He caught his first touchdown against Wisconsin. It was a beautiful ball, beautiful throw and catch by each of those guys. And Jeremy Bernard, I think we're only scratching the surface of what he's going to bring to the table as we continue to move throughout this college football season. So those are my 5 on defense, on offense. That was easy for me. On the defensive side, which I'm moving to next, this is more challenging. I didn't put anyone from the offensive line. I need to see more from the offensive line. The tight ends, there's not a lot of statistics to work on yet. I mean, Caden Proctor's only played in 1 game. I haven't been completely overwhelmed. Even with you could use this as rat poison if you want. We want to see more from the offensive line. We do. We want to see them play against Georgia, and then I think we can give them an assessment. So use it as rat poison, whatever you guys need to do. These are the top players that I have on defense, and this was more challenging for me. Like, how much I hype up Tim Keenan. I didn't add him to the list. Q-Rob has been playing exceptional. Actually, Q-Rob has the highest grade on the team, and I didn't add him to the list, right? I thought about maybe adding Damani Jackson, but again, they really haven't played a good quarterback, so I took him off. And I didn't even add, probably one of the top players on the team right now is James Burnup, and I didn't even add him because I don't have a special teams player. All right, Todd has Keon Sabb, Campbell, Lawson, Moore, and Overton. Okay, so we lined up the same. And I think right after that, I mean, and what's amazing is how highly graded these guys are on Pro Football Focus. So my top 5 on defense starts out at the top. I mean, Jahad Campbell playing absolutely phenomenal, very high Pro Football Focus grade, leads the team in tackles, 28. I think he could play all over the field. If they really wanted him to think about this. If Alabama really wanted to, they could put him at the wolf position, which would be absolutely very scary. And then you could have Justin Jefferson and Deontay Lawson at the inside linebackers. I mean, I think Jahad Campbell can play all over the field. Deontay Lawson, he's not getting overshadowed. I mean, he's having a very quality season as well. He's been doing really well. Each of the games, he's graded highly. He has 21 tackles right behind Jahad Campbell. Keon Sabb has 2 interceptions and not a handful. I think he has like 3 or 4 pass breakups. He almost had another interception against Wisconsin. And then you have Malachi Moore. He has 16 tackles. Malachi Moore has played the most snaps. And if you're out there and you missed the injury report from Coach Kalen DeBoer, I even updated, kind of reiterated what he spoke about on Monday. Malachi Moore should be absolutely good to go for the game against Georgia. So don't sweat about that game. And then LT Overton, I mean, the guy's graded out like 86 on Pro Football Focus. He's off to a really stellar start. So you have 2 transfers on here, Keon Sabb and LT Overton, and then you have transfer Jeremy Bernard on the offensive side of the ball. Those guys all adding a lot of value to the offense or to the defense. But LT Overton, I think, has been an early, I wouldn't necessarily say surprise. Maybe I would. I didn't know he was going to be playing like this. You got to maintain it, right? But absolutely stellar. I mean, Coach Womack told us before. I mean, and he's producing at a very high level early on. All right, I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. This is the bye week, but the news don't stop right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Today on the show, top 5 players on offense, top 5 players on defense. As we just ran through, we're going to talk about the recruits that are in town for the upcoming Georgia game. I'm sure, look, go support all the recruiting sites, whether you're a 24/7 person, On3, Rivals. I mean, all those guys do such an amazing job organizing the information. I kind of just will, show you kind of a snapshot of who's coming to town, but the recruiting sites is where it's at. So definitely support all those guys that do an amazing job in terms of bringing that recruiting coverage. And it's still fun to track recruiting. I think it's not as exciting as it used to be because there's so much kind of, committed, decommitted, but it still is fun to follow at this level when you're covering a premier program like Alabama. So let's look at some guys who are coming into town for this game. We'll go full screen on this. So right now we know that A.K. Deere is coming into town, right? Premier running back out of Mississippi. Feels good to finally have him committed, right? Out of all these, who are you most excited to have in town? Who do you think undefeated? So when we look at the weekend visitors, we'll start up top with A.K. Deere. 4-star running back that is committed to Alabama. He was originally committed to Ole Miss. Then he decommitted, came to the recruiting barbecue, and announced that he is committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Really dynamic running back, speed, power. He's the number 2 player actually in the state of Mississippi behind Caleb Cunningham, who is a 5-star wide receiver who is absolutely electric. So think about this. You have the number 1 and number 2 players from the state of Mississippi. Now I know Caleb Cunningham went and visited with Lane Kiffin and, probably saw the buzzsaw of the offense. But I think overall, Ole Miss, they're doing good things with Lane Kiffin. But I think the personal brand and what you're seeing with Alabama right now is they can get you to the ultimate national stage. Not only playing at the highest level, but building your personal brand. Look at what they're doing right now for Ryan. I mean, look, I'm rocking the gear right here. You've seen the new podcast that they have. Like, this stuff is going absolutely national, and Alabama is doing it at the highest level. So, when you're looking for your NIL deals, when you're looking, to a program that can not only help you out while you're in college and ultimately get you developed to the NFL, Alabama, I mean, they haven't lost a beat in, what Coach Saban has established. So if I'm Caleb Cunningham, I cannot wait to get here and be a part of that. Right? You also have Chuck McDonald, who's a defensive back out of the state of California. He'll be making the cross-country trip to come to Tuscaloosa for the early college football Super Bowl. And then you have Derek Smith. I didn't know if I should list him as an athlete or a wide receiver, a defensive back. I mean, the guy is an amazing talent. He's an in-state prospect out of Selma, Alabama. He was committed here and then flipped. I don't think it's done between these teams, but he better make a decision before the class fills up. Now, of course, Courtney Morgan, it said, if they have room, they'll take you, and if you're good, they'll figure out how to get you here. I think he can absolutely play here, but you got to make a decision because these guys are not slowing down recruiting at all. And you see right now how Auburn is viewed by the national media. Players that are in high school, they read these narratives, right? Auburn, let's face it, they are not on the right trajectory right now at this point in time. Already had to make a quarterback change, before week 5. And you look to Alabama's quarterback room. Oh, exactly. In Rocketown, you see what I'm saying? That the name, image, and likeness exposure, what Alabama is doing right now compared to Ole Miss, compared to Auburn, there's honestly nothing like it. So Derek Smith has a lot to think about, clearly. Dejon Lee, I love this addition to this class. Thank you, Jarvis, right? The class is filling up, man. Make a move. Talk to Courtney. Get it right. Make a strong decision. And look, even if Derek Smith decided to come back to Alabama, Alabama fans would welcome him with open arms. They would, he's a quality player. And these kids are like 17 years old. So there's a lot of big decisions to make. But Courtney Morgan has this recruiting philosophy pinned down to the T. There's no one better in college football right now recruiting like the GM for Alabama. Think about that. Dejon Lee, I love this addition. He's a big cornerback. And what I do like about Alabama's secondary right now is how, they're young. Okay, so you have Xavier Brown who's playing, Zay Minty who's playing, Red Morgan, and they'll grow up. And, can you potentially take advantage of those guys? Some bigger quarterbacks, I'm sure they're going to be targeted. But the point is, imagine how these guys are going to be by the end of the season, by next season. Dejoun Lee is 6'4", I want to say. And according to Greg Biggins in a story that I read, he's a West Coast analyst. He said that you cannot beat Dejoun Lee. I think that was a slam dunk addition to this class of 2025. Chuck McDonald's solid too. Duke Johnson, he'll be in town as well. Very good prospect. He's been very solid. And then how about this? This has been news. So Ivan Taylor was originally committed to Notre Dame. He's a 4-star defensive back out of the state of Florida. Then he flipped to Michigan. But I think if you read the tea leaves, and I would encourage you to read up on Ivan Taylor on your recruiting sites. It says he has a really close connection with Courtney Morgan, right? And he also has a connection to Colin Hitchler, right? Hitchler offered him when he was at Wisconsin. So I would imagine that Ivan Taylor, I don't make predictions. That's not my, I don't do that for recruiting, but it sounds like things are kind of heating up with Ivan Taylor. Let me ask you, for those of you that are really into recruiting, does it seem like things are starting to heat up with Ivan Taylor? It seems like that to me, which is good news. Also, it's amazing that Alabama still doesn't have a committed prospect from the state of Florida, right? Yeah, because, that was Coach Saban's, pipeline. But, Kalen DeBoer has been doing work on the West Coast. So, whatever. It doesn't matter where you're from. It matters how you perform here. Now, the big one, and kind of what's at stake when you look to Alabama versus Georgia, I kind of feel like the winner, I'm going to say this, the winner of round one of this matchup takes a major step forward with Justice Terry, the 5-star defensive lineman. Would you agree with that? I think this heavyweight bout will showcase Justice Terry it'll set the tone for his recruitment. I think that what's at stake is, I'll talk about that next, is SEC positioning and maybe Justice Terry. Now, I think that these teams, Alabama and Georgia, play multiple times this year. I'm just going to say that. So, it's a long time, but I think that Justice Terry's coming into town to see Georgia and Alabama, who wants to get it in the trenches. Big time prospect. Man, people, you want to talk about when we go live for major news. Justice Terry goes live, we're going live. This is major. Absolutely slam dunk if Alabama lands Terry. Keon Russell coming in. Alabama's leader at the quarterback position. Yo, have you guys seen, I need to do a video kind of recapping. Maybe that's what I'll do after Friday since we got a bye week. Yo, Keon Russell has been absolutely on point with his high school football team. This guy is throwing 70, 80-yard touchdowns. Have you guys seen Keon Keeley at high school? Yo, he's been balling out of control. That's another thing. If I'm like Caleb Cunningham or Latsier Brooks, right, and I'm looking at Keon Russell coming in, he's really the one who started spurring things early in June. Once he committed, and he's a 5-star consensus. The guys, has anyone besides me, I'm sure you guys have, seen his highlights as of late? Yo, he's balling out. Yo, Latsier Brooks, I know he's not he'll come at another point in time. And look, go to your recruiting sites and see like the full list of, there's many more people coming into town. But here's kind of just some, bigger names. Oh, and you know what? We can fix that right now. Good addition. Let me edit that real quick. Yeah, I'm responsible for all of the graphics on here, so sometimes I might have a few mistakes from time to time, but I'll clean them up. Thank you for pointing that out. It's Keelan Russell, my bad. Been talking a lot about Keon Keeley. Keelan Russell. All right, cool. Got it updated. You'll see it in 2 seconds. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys helping me out, being the extra eyes and being patient. Yeah, it's Keelan Russell. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Made a mistake. Sorry. But we got to update it. So yeah, he's absolutely balling out of control. That is fact. Bama Mike says he'll flip at least one wide receiver. Bama Mike, you're out in New Jersey, man. You go watch Latier Brooks, man, and give us the first-hand feedback. And then you have another 5-star in Ty Haywood. There's some more footage that's floating around like on social media of Ty Haywood. I didn't realize how massive he was. He's an outside tackle. He's towering. And look at this too. Like you have Keelan Russell coming from Texas, and you also have Ty Haywood coming from Texas. Those are some great Lone Star State additions. Josh, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. So, I mean, look, this is just an early list, and who knows, maybe there'll be some more surprise visitors, but I love this list already. So you guys let me know, who else you guys are excited about inside the comment box. And I would imagine, AJ, that Keelan will be an early enrollee. I mean, most of the top-end premier prospects are, right? All right. That's our kind of early recruiting watch list. And I appreciate you guys being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Okay, so as we turn the page and kind of just take a snapshot look at this game, you see that Georgia is a 2.5-point favorite against the Alabama Crimson Tide. All right, 6 p.m. ESPN. Georgia 3-0, Alabama 3-0. Georgia led by Carson Beck, who has 680 yards passing, 7 touchdowns. Yeah, ETN, who has 157 yards. Lovett, who has 155 yards. And CJ Allen, who has 15 tackles. And we know who Alabama's leaders are, right? I quickly glanced at the Pro Football Focus ratings. I've said all along, I feel that Alabama is the favorite in this game. Now, the national headlines seems like they're riding with Georgia, which is fine. I think that Alabama's a favorite. I mean, I've watched the two teams, and even though they struggled against Kentucky, we all know that playing on the road is challenging. I just wasn't that impressed with Georgia. Now, they'll, of course, bring an amazing challenge for Alabama. This is a team that's won, they're almost 34 games in a row. This is a team that has a great coach, has great coaching staffs, has great athletes, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. But I honestly feel that Alabama is the favorite in this game. And I think, and I showed this graphic yesterday, and I'll continue to show it as we continue to cruise through. But look, I mean, you look at the fact that Alabama has won the last 5 and 6, and look, none of this on the screen matters at all for this next game. But it is fact, right? Alabama won last year. Georgia won in 2022, but besides that, it's been Alabama. And it's been Nick Saban. That's been a real challenge for Kirby Smart. And I think kind of, when you look at this game and you start to think about, like, what is at stake? Well, early season SEC positioning, right? And I think later on as we go through the season, Georgia will be highly ranked. Alabama will be highly ranked. And when you look to where these teams could fall in SEC, I think I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you see these two teams play again in the SEC title game. With that being said, if you look at Ole Miss's schedule and Texas' schedule, those teams have a real clear shot to be number 1 and number 2 in the SEC. Whatever, I feel that there's a real possibility that Alabama and Georgia play more than one time this year. Todd is bringing to our attention that ESPN has a FPI of 57% for Bama. Yeah. I saw somewhere it said 67. Yeah, where is that, Josh? Oh, yeah, that's where I saw it. It was ESPN, right? 67. I just think that Alabama's a favorite. I also think it'll be, look, Coach Kalen DeBoer, he's performed very well in a lot of these marquee matchups and against big-time coaches. Now, he hasn't gone up against Kirby Smart before. 2-0 against what? Dan Lanning. He's undefeated against Lincoln Riley. He's undefeated against Steve Sarkisian. So the guy has already coached against elite talent, but he hasn't played in an SEC game. He hasn't coached in an SEC game. I'm not worried about that. I mean, the way his demeanor has been really amazing as a leader, as a coach. And I was thinking about this too. One of the great things about Coach Kalen DeBoer and anyone that was going to take over this job following Coach Saban, I don't think, honestly, I really feel that Coach Kalen DeBoer has a zero ego. He doesn't, right? He's always been so gracious and understanding where he's at, but I've never seen any type of ego. And I think that would be hard to do taking over. These guys are powerful men, right? They're in the prime of their life. They're making $8 to $13 million a year. You want to come in and pump your chest? Lanning has an ego. Sarkisian has an ego. Smart has an ego. I'm serious. I don't think that Coach Kalen DeBoer has an ego at all. Which is amazing when you got the keys to Alabama, right? And it's, it's a battle for SEC, the superiors, kings of SEC football. But I think early season recruiting wars, there's a lot at stake in this game. What do you think's at stake in this game? Certainly there has to be more, right? I mean, it's an early season showdown. I just think recruiting, national notoriety. And I think, when you look to these games in the future, this game will come into play. Oh, I mean, yeah. You imagine the views and the overall brand of the two programs. People want to see, they want to see Coach Kalen DeBoer play in a big-time game. They want to see him win a big-time game. You beat Georgia at home, college football game of the week. Man, that stock's going to continue to rise for Coach Kalen DeBoer, as it should. See, Jamal, I'm kind of as I start to kind of think about it, I'm thinking about that too. Dang, Bama Champ brings to our attention that DeBoer is 75-1 at home. Is that true? Man. Yeah, so if you want this hoodie, you go to Athlete's Thread. I'm not sponsored by Jalen Milroe or Alabama football. I'm an independent channel, but I am supporting the players, right, and the university. I mean, this hat I bought at the student store, and this hoodie I ordered on Athlete's Thread. That's where I got that 4 + 2 = 6. The only feedback that I gave to them was the fact that the hat's a little bit too red. It's not crimson. So I sent that to Athlete's Thread. Hey, I'm not that guy. The $2 super chat. Hey, thank you so much, man. If Milroe can't check it down, we're in trouble. I don't know. I appreciate the super chat. I just, for those of you, and we'll have a show sometime where you guys can call and talk about the whole intermediate passes. It's just, as the college football king Josh Pate said, it's not going to be a part of Alabama's game with Milroe at quarterback. And I think we've come to accept that. Like, he's going to beat you with the deep ball. He's going to beat you with long runs. He's going to beat you with the running backs. And that's just it. You're going to win games. All right, let's look at Alabama's next 5 games. So after the bye week, you clearly take on Georgia, the number 2 ranked team in the country. Then you take on Vanderbilt in Nash Vegas, right? My boy Diego Pavia. I was surprised that Vanderbilt finally dropped a game. All right, they lost to Georgia Southern because they were playing all right. Then you play South Carolina, a team that went toe-to-toe with LSU, almost won that game, probably should have won that game. That game will be at 12. Wow, that's an 11 o'clock kick on ABC or ESPN. That's cool. Another day game. And then you go to Tennessee. And then you host Missouri. So, I'm excited because these first 3 games have been warm-up games. Then you get into kind of the bye week. But look what's on the slate. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's Georgia State, right? Thank you. These next 5 games are going to be spicy. I mean, each of them has really good storylines. I mean, this one clearly, Georgia. We're going to talk about this one as much as possible. Then Vanderbilt. You can't, overlook any of these games. Alabama will be, the heavy favorite against Vandy and against South Carolina. I'm interested to see what the line is against South Carolina, actually. And then at Tennessee, that'll be Coach Kalen DeBoer's. I mean, I know you go to Vanderbilt, but the first time, right, going to Neyland Stadium, I would imagine that Tennessee is undefeated at this point in time still, if they're able to beat Oklahoma on Saturday. And then you have Missouri. Nobody's talking about Missouri. I don't even think I have Missouri in my own personal top 5 and top 10. I saw that he's on, Eli Drinkwitz is on, the big board for Florida. Let me ask you something. Who would be the most dangerous coach at Florida after Billy Napier? I was thinking about that. Gaulish? Probably Kiffin, right? Patriot Life, what's up, man? Let's roll the puppies. I love it. I guess Kiffin would probably, and it's hard to see. You're really leaving Ole Miss for Florida, but I think you do. I don't know. What have you guys thought of Tennessee so far? They're scoring, good quarterback play. I think Josh Heupel is the coach that Tennessee was looking for. They thought it was going to be Jeremy Pruitt. He wasn't. Tennessee's good. They haven't really played anybody, but they look good to me. Ed Orgeron. I miss a coach at Orgeron. LSU always hires the most interesting coaches. Rodney's asking, Kyle, what's your take on Tennessee adding 10% tax to football tickets? They're putting it back on the fans, of course. For the talent fee, I saw that. That's coming to college football. I know, Jamal, they haven't played anybody, Tennessee. They haven't. I agree. The 10%, it's a talent fee. Look, all these programs they want to continue to make the football staff and the coaches and everyone behind the scenes wants to continue to make as much money as possible, clearly, right? They don't want that to come. There's only so much money at the university, so they want to, 10% from the fans to come see the game. Everything's expensive, right? I mean, I was talking to someone yesterday about the Georgia-Alabama games. I think for the upper bowl, it was like $700 a ticket. I can't even imagine what the lower bowl is. The Bama-Georgia game is going to have a playoff field. This is coming from Jarvis. Oh, 1,000,000%. I can't wait to see that atmosphere, man. Woo! Here's a look at the college football slate upcoming for week 4. Right? Are these the only... am I missing any of these games? Did I miss a game on the board? it's not the best weekend of college football, but I like these. Let's start up top. USC at Michigan. All right, let's go down the list. Okay, so USC or Michigan, who do you think wins? Sound off inside the comment box right now. USC or Michigan? I'm taking USC. And I've continued to ask about USC, and they're in my top 10. A lot of you don't like that they're in my top 10. I even asked someone from Southern California, and they said USC still isn't it. I don't know. I think USC is it. So, but right, this will be Michigan's second loss at home if they were to lose to USC. And I think you can't compare scores, but you can compare how the two teams played against each other, right? So Texas went into the big house and took care of business, and I think USC will handle Michigan too. Jarvis, what's the line on that game? USC, Michigan. Okay, so heavy fit. Everyone's going with USC in this game, me included. All right. Any chance UCLA upsets LSU? Everyone's taking LSU, right? I know we're not supposed to do anything corn dog related, but LSU wins this game at home. I think it's a bounce back game for them. I think they take care of UCLA. Crazy to think that UCLA and USC now part of the Big Ten, right? LSU wins that game. We'll move to the next one. Oh, Colorado and Baylor? That's a good one to watch. Anything with Colorado right now is interesting. -8. Todd, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Okay, so everyone has Ricky, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. We love you. Thanks for being here. The Amy Wars. Bro said USC is it. No, I just think they're like a top 10 team this year. Might be premature, but I mean, I don't know. I was impressed that first time I saw them play, and then, second time they come out against Utah State. I don't know. I just like the quarterback play. They have athletes all over the field. All right, how about okay, this is for you, undefeated. Who are we taking, Tennessee or Oklahoma? Sound off right now. Tennessee or Oklahoma? What's up, Kimberly? Wow, USC's only favored by 5.5 over Michigan? Yo, man. I like the Trojans by more than that. 24 for LSU against UCLA. All right, Tennessee, Oklahoma, who you guys taking? I'm taking Tennessee. I kind of have a high confidence level in this. Cody's taking Oklahoma. I don't know. I feel like overly confident that Tennessee wins this game. I guess because Oklahoma had a tight game with, who was it, Houston? But I think we all like Brent Venables, right? Everyone's taking Tennessee. Okay. How about this next one? Tennessee favored by 7 in that game. Thanks, Jarvis. How about Miami and South Florida? Is anyone taking South Florida? All right, I'm asking you now. Miami versus South Florida. Is anyone... I would actually like to go to that game like as a fan. Right? I love Tampa. Miami coming in, pumping their chest. Max Tooney's taking Miami. He likes Cam Ward a lot. Miami's favored by 16.5. Mario Cristobal versus Alex Galish. Ronnie's going with the upset. Ricky Smith's going with the upset too. Yo, that's an entertaining game. I'm watching. You know what's cool is if you have YouTube TV, you have those like the 4 TVs or the 4 games. I love that. All right, mostly it's mostly Miami, but there's a few South Florida upsets. That would be wild. didn't know how to feel about this next one. Utah or Oklahoma State? And then I went into the Big 12 kind of wormhole and like looked at the teams who were like up at the top. And I saw Central Florida is like at the top right now. I would imagine that these are the two top teams in the Big 12. Oh, Bam and Mike, I've been saying that a million times. Utah and Oklahoma State. Or Utah, I'm sorry. I guess I'll take Oklahoma State. If it was in Utah, I'd take Utah. But I'll take Oklahoma State in this one. Utah plays tough on the road, but I think Mike Gundy, they'll get him in Stillwater. So give me Oklahoma State in that one. Okay, and then our final one. You know I had to do it. All right. Sound off in the chat right now. Cal at Florida State. Do you think Cal beats Florida State? Cal just beat Auburn. Sound off now. Cal versus Florida State. Put me down for Cal. I'm taking Cal. Will Florida State, will they rush the field? No, I'm like dead serious when I ask that question. Scuba Steve is taking Florida State. Cal huge. Cal. Imagine if they start out 0-4. Oh my goodness. Man, a lot of people taking Cal. Cal's racking up the miles. Hacker Music's like FSU, but I would laugh if I'm wrong. Everyone beats Florida State. Oh, man. All right. Kyle's in here with Cal. Josh has Cal as well. A lot of Cals. Wow. Okay, I know it's not on the board, but someone brought it up inside the comment box. This will be our last one. Colorado or Baylor? Who you got on that? And Florida State's favored by 2.5. Oh, I take Cal. Colorado or Baylor? I guess I'll take. Let me see. I don't even know where the game is at. Colorado Baylor? I guess I'll take Colorado. Colorado Baylor. Oh, it's in Colorado. Give me the Buffs. I'll take the Buffs in like triple overtime. Yeah, see, I knew it'd be tight. 1.5. Okay, yeah. Give it to me in overtime. Fam, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being on my show today. Thank you for being here. The team is off today. Coach Kalen DeBoer will have his SEC teleconference, and he'll have his Hey Coach show, which is on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Definitely follow the players, support the coaches, support your team, and support all of the great content creators out there, different YouTube channels that cover Alabama football. Same thing with your recruiting sites. There's a lot of people that put in such a great time and all their energy into providing really good content for you to watch, for you guys to read. So please definitely support them. Don't feel like if you're following, if you're a subscriber, if you're a fan funder of me, don't be like, I can't go see those other sites. Like, no. Go support them. It's cool. They do a really great job. And the hoodie, remember, this is an Athlete's Thread. Not sponsored by anybody. I actually don't even have one sponsor. So if you want to be a sponsor, hit me up. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you to those that are members of the Undefeated. For only $2.99, you can support this YouTube channel, me, right here on Bama Football on YouTube. The Super Chats, thank you so much today for your contributions to the channel. I will be back as news happens. I'm uploading this week like different videos that are topical as we get through the bye week. So, turn the subscriptions on. So you'll see, like yesterday, I posted a video on LT Overton. Just wanted to create a video. It also helps me kind of stay in the rhythm, right, during a bye week, like practicing. So I'm always, doing different videos so I don't fall out. And I'm sure I'll find a way to work on Saturday. I love to do what I love to work. So I got that dog mentality, I promise you. One more time, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much for supporting the product, for supporting me, for being here, for being inside the comment box. I appreciate you guys. Look for this to be uploaded to Spotify and to Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. My handle is Mr. Kyle Henderson. Honestly, just like workouts, motivational type stuff. Have an amazing Wednesday, September 18th. I'll be back as news happens. Watch for more videos to drop right here on Bama Football on YouTube.